皆さんおはようございます。Thank you for joining me today. This is the Easy Japanese News article of the day for February 24th, 2026. 2026年2月24日の今日の記事でございます。So for our headline today, we have 日本マクドナルドビッグマックなどの値段を高くする。Okay, so for our article today, we're going to have a lot of katakana, so get ready. Here is our vocabulary from the headline. We have 日本 or Nippon would be Japan. マクドナルド is McDonald's. Big Mac is a Big Mac that you can get at McDonald's. 値段 is a price. And 高い is expensive or high. Okay, and for our grammar point today, we have なる. So the verb naru, it means become, and we use this often in Japanese for when a state changes. Something is the case, and it no longer becomes the case, or vice versa, where something isn't there, and then it turns into something else. It becomes something else. Now, we'll use this verb a lot more in Japanese than we would use the verb become in English. So there are lots of things that become different things and they change into different states. So depending on the type of word that we're connecting naru to, it will change slightly how we do this. So for e adjectives, we drop that e and then we add kunaru. For na adjectives, we don't add the na and we just go ni naru. And then if we have a verb, we'll use verb yo ni naru. Now, there's no example of this in the article today, so we won't have an example of that. But just so you know, if it's a verb, we'll use yo ni naru. And then because naru is a verb, we can then conjugate that into the mas form, the te form, etc. So for our example sentence today, we have 今週から寒くなるんだって. So 今週, this week, 今週から starting or from this week, 寒くなる. So 寒い is cold. It's an e adjective. It ends in that e. So we'll say 寒くなる. 寒くなるんだって. And this んだって is this is kind of that's our situation. And then this だって is a casual way of saying that's what someone said. So the they here is in parentheses because we're unsure who they're talking about. They just heard this, right? So, okay, that was my frog. Sorry you had to hear that, but here we go. And then for our second example sentence, we have お母さんが元気になってよかったね. So, お母さんが,お母さん is a honorific way of saying mother. So we're probably talking about someone else's mother. お母さんが is going to be a verb or something that お母さん is going to do. And then we have 元気, a na adjective. So therefore we add になる. 元気になって. We're taking that なる into the te form. 元気になって. よかった. And then if we have a てよかった, that's how we say we're glad that something is the case. Or happy that something happened, right? So here, 元気になってよかったね. And with this ね is like, that's great, isn't it? So, お母さんが元気になってよかったね. That's so great that your mother got better, isn't it? Now, I didn't want this grammar point to take too long, but I will mention this since it does also happen in the article. Instead of naru, if we use suru, the verb to do something, it slightly changes the meaning. Now, we'll still follow these same conjugation rules to put them into the kunaru or kusuru, ninaru, nisuru, yo ni suru. But the difference between naru and suru is naru, things just turn out that way, and that's what we're focusing on. We're not saying anyone particularly made it that way. With suru, we're saying someone made it this way. So if we said kunaru, it just ended up being that way. Kusuru, someone made it that way. And so in the article, we'll have both naru and suru sentences. There's a lot more naru, so I wanted to focus on that one, but we will run into some surus, where suru is just someone made it to become in that state or changed it to be in that state. Okay, so coming back to our headline, we have 日本マクドナルド、ビッグマックなどの値段を高くする。Okay, so we've got 日本, which is Japan, right? 日本マクドナルド. So Japan McDonald's or McDonald's Japan. And we have a quote here, Big Mac, which is a Big Mac, a burger that you can get at McDonald's. Nado, and nado is things like. And then no nedan. Nedan is a price. This no is telling us the price of the thing that comes before it. So the price of Big Mac and the like, or Big Macs and the like, that's what that nado is, and the like, を高くする. So 高い is expensive, and then we have くする coming from our grammar point. So not 高くなる, it's not just becoming expensive, it is 高くする. So someone is making it more expensive. We don't have an exact description of who this is, but I guess it's Japanese or McDonald's Japan. Someone from McDonald's Japan is making the price of Big Mac and the like higher. And that all also gives us that hint, right? Because someone is doing something to the price. They're making it higher. Okay, let's jump right into our vocabulary for the article. We have 発表 or 発表する, which is to announce something. 店 is a store or a shop. 半分 is half. So if we want to attach this to another noun, 半分の or something no 半分, those works. And we have 必要, which is necessary. It's a na adjective, so 必要な when we're connecting to a noun. 材料, which is materials or basically anything you need in order to get something done. That would be called 材料. We have 働く, which is to work. 払う is to pay. 生活 is life or living. And いろいろ is another na adjective, meaning various or many. So if we're connecting to a noun, we'd say いろいろな. I mean various of this noun.
日本マクドナルドは明日からハンバーガーなどの値段を高くすると発表しました。マクドナルドの多くの店で半分以上の食べ物が高くなります。ビッグマックは20円高くなって500円になります。ダブルチーズバーガーは30円高くなって480円になります。前に値段が上がったのは去年3月でした。会社はハンバーガーなどを作るのに必要な材料や働く人に払うお金などが高くなったためですと言っています。生活のいろいろなものが高くなっています。
Okay, let's jump right into our article.
日本マクドナルドは明日からハンバーガーなどの値段を高くすると発表しました。
Okay, so 日本マクドナルドは so Japan McDonald's or McDonald's Japan は and so they are going to be our main topic or framework here. And then 25日からor I believe it's あさって or I think it's あさって that they were giving us, or 明日から I forget. I'm kind of lost on what day it was, but the 25th, right? So another way we could say this, 25日から, so from the 25th or tomorrow. I believe she said 明日 for tomorrow, okay? Then ハンバーガー is a hamburger. などの So once again, など being our things like, and then の値段. So the price of things like hamburgers を高くする. So just like from our headline, 高くする is to make something expensive. And then 高くすると発表しました. We have 発表しました is 発表する to announce. So McDonald's Japan announced that starting tomorrow, the price of things like hamburgers, they would increase. Now this to here, to is used to kind of quote things before it, then we can have a verb after it. So what did they announce? We kind of take things before it. And this is what they announced, that starting tomorrow, they would increase the prices of hamburgers and the like.
マクドナルドの多くの店で半分以上の食べ物が高くなります。
Okay, so マクドナルドの something of McDonald's or from McDonald's. 多くの店で so 多くの is how we say many of, and then 店 is stores or shops, and で is telling us something is happening at those locations. So at many McDonald's shops, 半分以上, so 半分 is going to be half, 以上, if we put this after a number or an amount, it means or more. So 半分以上 is going to be more than half or more. の食べ物, so 食べ物, half or more of the food items, 食べ物 is food, が it's going to do something, 高くなります. So here we have 高い again, this time in the くなる, because this is an e adjective, and it's not someone is doing these, but it's just happening. So the food itself is becoming more expensive. So that's why we have the particle が, the food that is becoming more expensive, and we use なる instead of する. Whereas if someone was doing it, 食べ物を高くします. But because we're not, the が and 高くなります.
ビッグマックは20円高くなって500円になります。
Okay, good. Now we have Big Mac は, so Big Mac is the Big Macs は our main idea. 20円, 20円, 高くなって, once again, 高くなる in the te form. So it's becoming 20 yen more expensive. And then the te form just tells us and more is happening after it. 500円になります. So 500円, 500 yen, になります. So for nouns and naru, we also use になります. And then naru is in the mas form here. So the Big Mac is getting 20 yen more expensive and will become 500 yen.
ダブルチーズバーガーは30円高くなって480円になります。
ダブルチーズバーガー. One of my favorite words to say in Japanese, right? ダブルチーズバーガー. The double cheeseburger は main idea. 30円高くなって. So once again, 30 yen, 30円高くなって. Same as earlier. It's going to become 30 yen more expensive and will be 480 yen, 480 yen になります. That's our will be. After becoming 30 yen more expensive, it will be 480 yen.
前に値段が上がったのは去年3月でした。
Okay. 前に値段が上がったのは、前に this is how we say previously. 値段が, so price, and then this が, it's going to do something or be something. 上がった. So this is the verb that connects to our 値段 here. So 値段が上がった for prices to increase or jump up. It's from the verb 上がる in the past tense. 上がったのは. So this no here is turning all of this into a noun here. So 前に値段が上がった. So no, in this case, it's kind of like the time. So the time when this happened previously, which is the prices increased. So the last time the prices increased was 2025年. I believe she said 去年, so last year. 3月でした. 3月 is March and でした is was. So the last time that prices increased was in March of last year, or March of 2025.
会社はハンバーガーなどを作るのに必要な材料や働く人に払うお金などが高くなったためですと言っています。
Okay, so we have 会社は the company, McDonald's Japan, and then our wa is telling us this is our main idea. We have a long quote and と言っています. So this is something they are saying. And then let's get into our quote here. So we have ハンバーガーなど. So ハンバーガーなど be things like hamburgers を作るのに. So 作る is to create or make. So making hamburgers and the like. And then I was almost going to use this for our grammar today, but there were just too many instances of naru. Since we've done naru in the past, I wanted to do this, but there were just too many. So this no ni here means in order to. So in order to make hamburgers and the like. And then 必要な. So 必要 is necessary or required. And then 材料 is materials or supplies. So ハンバーガーなどを作るのに必要な材料. The materials required in order to make hamburgers and the like, or the supplies. や This is kind of like など, means we're listing some things, but we're not limiting other things. So 材料 would be our materials or supplies, and 働く人. So 働く is to work, and that's describing what kind of 人 we're talking about here. So people who work, and then に something is going to them. 働く人に払う. Harao is paid, and all of this is describing お金. お金 is money. So money that is paid to the people that work. 働く人に払うお金. And then we have など. などが. So, and the money paid to the people who work. And ya and nado often worked together. So basically, materials required to make hamburgers and the like, money that's paid to the people who work, and the like. So we're listing those two things, but also other things that we're not specifying in this article. が高くなった. So が, this is doing something, and we have once again 高くなる, become expensive in the past tense, and that is connected to ため, which means because or due to, and ためです just to finish off our sentence. So the company is saying that this is, or the reason why is, and what they're talking about is why they increased the prices, right? The reason why this price increase happened is because the supplies required to make hamburgers and the like, the money paid to those who work, or the employees, and the like, became expensive. And that is the reason why. That's what this ため does. ためです does, right? And we have our last sentence here.
生活のいろいろなものが高くなっています。
Good. And we have 生活, which is life. And this is not like life as a concept, but like your daily life where you're living, right? 生活の something of life. いろいろなもの. So いろいろ various. いろいろな. We use this not because we're attaching to the noun もの, which is things. And now this is physical things. So 生活のいろいろなもの. So various things in daily life が高くなっています. Okay, so we have 高くなる here again. And then we are putting that in the ている form because it is in that state. So things are getting more expensive. So various things in your daily life are becoming more expensive. And that is definitely happening in Japan right now. Now, that being said, a 500 yen Big Mac is still ridiculously cheap compared to what it is in the United States right now. But as a general rule, food is pretty cheap in Japan. But all right, so that is our article. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. And I hope you got your Big Macs yesterday, because by the time this article came out, it's already 500 yen to get your Big Mac. But either way, an extra 30 yen isn't too bad. Actually, for the Big Mac, it's only 20 yen. But go out and get yourself a Big Mac. And then don't ever eat one again, because it's probably not good for you. But I hope you enjoyed this article. If you did, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will plan on seeing you later this week. 本当にありがとうございました。またね。